All right, and welcome to Mr. McMurdo's math class. You were given these 5 problems to solve. We are going to go through those 5 problems. If you're not done yet, that's fine. But please make sure you're following along and paying attention so that you learn, which means you have it open to those pages so that you can see what you did. The first problem you had was 4,241 divided by 58. We have already listed the multiples of 58 with my help from my friend JJ, Braden, and a few of my other friends. So now I have to ask myself, does 58 go into 4? Myself says,
No.
I have to ask myself, does 58 go into 42? Myself says, I have to ask myself, does 58 go into 424? Myself says, So I'm going to have 2 numbers there. 7 times 58?
406.
406. And I got that by just looking. I want to get as close to 424 as I could. So I just looked over here. This is too big, so it must be 406. Then I have to subtract. Let's see. When I subtract, what do I get? 18. Is that right? Is that right? No?
Yeah, it's right.
2, 1, 14, that's an 8. Yeah, 18. Alright, now I need to take 58 into 181. So I go over here and look. I have 58, I have 116, I have 174, I have 232. That's too big, so it's got to be 3. And that's 174. And so I get a remainder of 7.
But don't,
Yes.
oh, no, never mind.
Alright, so now, because I don't want to get a bad grade, I would check it. I'm not going to go through all the checking it, but I'll show you how. You'd multiply 73 times 58 and add your remainder of 7. 73 times 58 and add your remainder of 7. And that should equal, if we've done all our math correctly, 4,241. 4,241. I'm going to pause this here for a second. And we're back. We are now dividing 1,391 by 43. With the help of my lovely class, I have listed the multiples of 43 because that always helps so much. Yet I walk around and I see so many people not doing it, which hurts my feelings. And then if we take a test and you get a bad grade, you're going to want to know, can I do extra credit? And I'm going to say, well, you should have done this first, and that would save your life. So I ask myself, will 43 go into 1? Myself says?
No.
I ask myself, will 43 go into 13? Myself says?
No.
I ask myself, does 43 go into 139? Myself says? Yes.
3 times.
So I have a 2 digits in my quotient.
3 times.
And I go over here and I look at my multiples. I have 43, 86, 129, 172, which is too big.
129.
So it needs to be 129, which is...
Subtract that.
And then you bring down the 1, which is 101. Yeah.
Now I have to take it into 101. 43, 86 goes in twice. Okay, we all need to be watching. We need to be watching. 14?
And then the remainder would be 15.
15. Gentlemen, come up here.
15.
And so it'd be 32, remainder 15. I could check that. 32 times 43 plus 15. And it should equal 1,391. You all understand the process.
Yeah.
You know how to do this. I'm getting papers back and assignments back where you're not doing as well as you should because you're rushing. Rushing.
Down now.
We have 96 hundredths divided by 4. I am not going to list my multiples of 4 out because I already know them because they're in my multiplication chart. When dividing by a decimal, I move my decimal point straight up and then I'm done with it. I don't even need to look at it anymore. I'm going to pretend like it's not even there. Now, does 4 go into 0? No, I don't have to put anything above the 0. I can put a 0 there if I wanted. I don't have to.
It would just make the problem.
Does 4 go into 9?
Yes,
Yes, twice.
Oh yeah, twice.
It's 20.
And then 16?
And does 4 go into 16?
Yeah.
How many times? 4 times. Which gives me 16, which subtracts me 0. If I wanted to check this, I'd multiply 24 hundredths times 4. When I'm multiplying the numbers that have decimals, I'm going to rewrite it, ignoring the decimal. I'm going to get 96. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my problem. And I'm going to see that there are 2 numbers behind the decimal point in the problem. There's going to be 2 numbers behind it in the answer.
Next one.
Oh, let's see. 117.6 divided by 7. Again, I don't have to list my multiples of 7 because I have a multiplication chart. So I can always look at that. I move my decimal point straight up. Then I ignore it from that point on. I promise you I'm going to see people when they subtract, they're going to keep moving that decimal point down. It's going to drive me insane because that's not how it works. 7 doesn't go into 1, 7 goes into 11.
Once.
So I have 2 digits in front of my decimal point. 2 digits in front of my decimal point. That's why it's important to figure out where they go. 7 goes into 11 how many times?
Once.
11 subtract 7 is? 4. I bring down my 7. 7 goes into 47 how many times? 6.
No, 6, yeah.
6 times 7 is 42. I get 5. Oh, that 6 is in the wrong place, isn't it? 6. And 7 goes into 56 how many times? 8. So my answer should be 16 and 8/10. If I wanted to check it, I do 16 and 8/10 times 7, or 168 times 7. I would get 1176. 1 number behind the decimal, 1 number behind the decimal. Yes, sir.
I actually didn't notice that was a decimal, and I still got the answer right.
Good.
Except the decimal point wasn't in there, so I just put that in.
Well, so you got it wrong.
It was 168.
Okay, you owe me. You owe me $16.80. And you write me a check and leave the decimal point out. You've just paid me $1,680. Which would be too much, yeah. That's the difference. So the decimal point is important. All right, last but not least, we have 8 and 14 hundredths times 3 and 9/10. As I've said 1,286 times, do not line the decimal points up when you are multiplying by decimals. You do not line them up. I walked around, I still saw people lining them up. We do not line them up. Because now all I have to do is rewrite it. 814 times 39. I'm ignoring everything about decimals right now. After I rewrite it, I'm ignoring that there are no decimals. Then I just multiply like I would a 3-digit factor times a 2-digit factor. And it would be, let's see, I'm starting in my ones place. So 9 times 4 is, God bless you, 36. So 36 ones, which is 6 ones and 3 tens. 9 times 1 is plus 3, 12. So that's 12 tens. or 2 tens and 100. And 9 times 8 plus 1, 73. So now, I'm moving on to my tens place. What I'm actually doing right here is multiplying 814 times 30. That's why that 0 goes there, because I'm going to start in my tens place. So I'm done with what I carried. I'm done with my 9. 3 times 4 is?
12.
3 times 1 is? 3 plus 1 is?
4.
3 times 8 is?
24.
24. Then I have to find the sum of those two products. 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, I should have gotten 31,746. But wait, there's more.
Decimal point.
I go back and I look. There's 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal point of the problem. 1, 2, 3 numbers behind it in the answer. Now let's look if we estimate it, because we always want to check to make sure our answer makes sense. So I'm going to say 8 and 14 hundredths is close to 8. 3 and 9 tenths is close to 4. And 8 times 4 is 32. So my whole number in my product actually is 31. My estimate would be 32. Since those are pretty close, I probably did a good job with that. On yesterday's warm-up, when you only had a chance to do it once, y'all missed a problem. If you missed a problem, it's because you didn't do the estimating. So several of you got an 80 when if you'd have estimated, you wouldn't have gotten that 80. You'd have gotten 100. Because it was real easy. All you had to do is put the decimal points in. Boom, shakalaka, peace out. God bless. Love you. Do something kind today.